Some of the best remnants of Soviet architecture are actually hotels. The hotel is called the Big Ural, and I mean, it is big and it is bad, it is ugly, it's seen better days, but my goodness, it is interesting. Granite marble tiled floor there. There are 2 lifts either side of the stairs, but unfortunately neither work these days. Crikey, spacious, I'll give it that. My goodness. A bit unusual, probably as you'd expect. The bathroom is unexpectedly sophisticated with a little bidet there and pretty big as well, steps leading up to the bath. And a pretty large bathtub as well. This is kind of funny, they've got a list of every item in the room and how much it will cost you if you break or take anything. I've got to admit, I like the old school windows here. There's a little switch thing. Turn the switch, open the window. There's another window, obviously. Windows always double insulated in Russia because of the cold weather. So on the floors themselves you can actually see what I was talking about earlier. There are 2 lifts either side of the steps. I mean, neither of them work, but never mind. So this is almost the top floor. You see it's just like a little floor slightly above. And what's interesting is there doesn't seem to be any hotel rooms all of this side. They're on that side, but on this side they're not. For some reason there's street lamps inside, I'm not sure what that is. This is one of the side wings. It seems a bit more, well, even more old school than the central part where I've been so far. Needless to say, I mean, this hotel has really seen better days. I mean, it's kind of on its last legs in a way. But I mean, it's a real focal point of the city. You know, everyone in Yekaterinburg knows about this hotel. And I tell you something, during its heyday, the President of the United States of America stayed here. Okay, he was still Vice President at the time, but Nixon stayed here during his visit to the region in 1959. Also, Castro stayed here. Khrushchev, the Soviet Premier, stayed here as well, and a whole host of other people. And now I'm staying here. Certainly no shortage of plants in here. Like that kind of thing. So if presidents used to stay at this hotel, it probably explains why the rooms are so big. That's the door to my room there. And as you can see, there's not another door anywhere along. The room is as long as that, which is pretty big and long for a hotel room. Whereas opposite, on the same stretch, you've got 3 different rooms. Handily located opposite the main train station is this. This statue in front of the hotel is a well-known landmark of the city, as is the hotel itself. The hotel has 8 levels, and during the Soviet time all of those levels were the hotel, whereas now only actually 2 of them are. 2 different hotels have 2 different floors, and the rest of the levels are just offices and other things. Still classic Soviet style inside, the simple little rooms here, 2 of them, and then with a shared bathroom, but been renovated, so not so bad. And then a shared entrance exit too. And as you can see there, the logo of the hotel is actually the statue outside. If you want to stay in a hotel built in the Soviet modernist style, then I think this is the hotel for you. Straight away I like this building. You see the windows there, they're not flat against the building, they're not They haven't got balconies sticking out. They're this really unusual shape, just slightly angled. Really cool. Okay, the protruding porch is not so great. They've modernised that with the horrible tiles. But my goodness, just look at the rest of it. Just look at it. It's brilliant. Now here's my room at the end here. There seems to be a emergency exit right next to me. Is it open? Okay, yeah, it's open. My goodness, that's not a bad view, is it? 7th floor here. As for the room itself, I'm expecting it to be seriously old school. Let's see if I'm right. Yeah, I think I am. Do I get a view from here as well? I think I do. Okay, there we go. We've got the mountains there, and I can even see the lake over there. The bathtub's kind of interesting as well. I don't think the camera's really picking it up, but in the middle of it, there's like a big slope. It's about an 8-inch slope in the middle of it. And then far more typical is the one tap for both the basin and the bathtub. Quite economical actually. So I've just come out to the other emergency exit, the other side. And what I love about this hotel's location is that it's right in the heart of a Soviet micro-region. So that really cool rectangular box thing at the top, that's actually the restaurant. So this has got to be a good Soviet job here, surely. Got to be. Yeah, actually, quite normal actually. Not much of a view as usual. But I was saying, I think the other side faced a little lake. But I've got the city. That's fine by me. Not a huge amount of privacy if your neighbour's also sitting out on the balcony. Upon closer inspection, maybe certain elements of the room have seen better days. Interesting ceiling as well, and very interesting light. This is sort of like the corridor that I'm walking to get from the hotel part to the breakfast part. Look at this. This looks nice. Wow, really nice. So that you've got a bakery section there, and then you've got like the canteen section there. That's really cool. Wow. I mean, I've been to hundreds of these Soviet-style canteens that are popular all over Russia and ex-Soviet Union, and I mean hundreds. But wow, what a find that was. That's got to be one of the nicest ones I've ever been to. So everything always looks better in the morning, doesn't it, than at night time? Although, in fairness, it doesn't really look much better. That's the wonderful canteen from the outside. As you see, really nice, modern. Well, I mean, it's the same block. They've just renovated it. And I think sooner or later that hotel will get a renovation. So it will look much nicer, but it will probably lose its awful Soviet character, which is a shame. I have stayed in over 100 Soviet hotels, and I'll leave you with a collection of some of the more interesting ones.